Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Hello everybody and welcome to Impact Farming. We have a special guest today. We have Nikolas Badminton with us, and I am very excited to bring this interview to you guys. So on that note, I'm going to let Nikolas introduce himself and his background.
Sure. My name's Nick Badminton. I'm a futurist. I've got a career spanning over 35 years. I started using computers at the age of 10. I studied applied psychology and computing at university, artificial intelligence, linguistics, a whole bunch of things. I grew up in a farming community in Somerset in the southwest of England. I actually worked in dairy farms as I was growing up to earn some extra money. My father worked for 28 years in the dairy industry. My mother worked in the bakery. So I've kind of got a close to home feeling around agriculture, farming, and then I overlay my experience in exponential technologies into how that's going to change the world of farmers and agriculture as an industry as a whole.
Excellent. That's a great background. I love it.
Yeah.
Nikolas was delivering a presentation at AgX 2018 in Winnipeg, and it was phenomenal. So I'm so happy for everybody at home that we have the opportunity to get you on camera and bring your message. And Nikolas was talking about Farmer 3.0, Agriculture 3.0, and your main thesis, premises was sustainable and innovative new ways for agriculture, right?
Sustainable, resilient, innovative, just the ability to realize that we're in this sort of fourth industrial revolution around communications, transportation and energy, and all of that is building momentum behind a whole new revolution of what like farming and agriculture can be in this new world.
Excellent. So you talked about farming where we're at right now, and you spoke about signals of change. Can you share those with us?
So signals of change are those things that I see happening in laboratories, in tech companies, in the news, what's happening on the street. That's indicating to me that there's a change coming to culture, how humans interact, how businesses work, how cities operate, how farms operate as well. And those signals of change indicate to me that in the next 5 to 10 years, things are going to start shifting in terms of, it might be production of meat and raising of cattle. It might be production of grain. It might be a shift towards more plant-based foods in our diets or whatever. So all of these things I sort of covered a lot of them in my presentation. But typically it's around data, artificial intelligence, automation, energy, what the new world of food looks like, and how things are fundamentally going to increase momentum through technological change.
Excellent. And the presentation was great. A room full of farmers, and you were sharing. I think once you got to some of the ag areas, as people tend to, they get a little bit uncomfortable when you were covering some of your material, but it was absolutely fantastic. So on that note, we have an audience full of farmers, and they're always looking for ways to improve their operation. So as a futurist, as somebody that's familiar with agriculture, what do you see coming for agriculture?
Yeah, I mean, immediate things that you can do is use sensors in the fields, use drone technologies to help you cover more ground, to do sensoring around, health of crops or whatever. Eventually, you'll have like robotics and whatever coming into the fields as well. But really, the thing that you should really be getting into is understanding the data about your farm, understanding what that means, but having a more direct link to it than having to use a third person to go through. One of the big questions that came out today was like, who owns our data? And that's one of the big problems. But there are good platforms out there. You just need to understand what game you're getting into and how much you do own in terms of that data and the value that delivers to you and your agricultural operation.
Okay, excellent. So when we talk about AI, machine learning, VR, AR, all of this good stuff, and robots taking over the world, I mean, farmers, we're proud, we love working the land. And I think maybe there's some hesitancy to adopt new technology because we go, hey, if all the machinery can be out in the field doing the work without us, what's the job of the farmer?
Yeah.
A robot's going to take over the world?
So we're in a situation where there's fewer farmers on a year-by-year basis than ever before. The farmers out there right now are average age 55. This is from StatsCan. And not enough people are stepping up into that. So there's going to be fewer farmers with larger acreages, and they're not going to have the workers available anyway. So there's a natural fit for automation to come into that business. And a farming operation, yes, it is still in the field, but maybe not as much as it is in an operations center. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be here in 2 or 3 years, but like within 10 years, a farm operation is going to be, data and cybersecurity and automated machinery and sensors in the field and whatever. And there will be fewer farmers because that's the trend. But the youth are going to come in with whole new ways of working. It's going to be hugely interesting for agriculture as a whole, because we're going to have to feed more people. There's going to be more diversity. Small holding farmers are hugely interesting to me because of the diversity of their crops, the application of solar and battery technology and whatever. So I think that we're at the beginning of a revolution that's going to come.
Okay, that is good words of wisdom there. What excites you right now? Is there a certain technology? What's really on your radar? Because you're always looking forward.
I've spent most of my life with data and analytics and building out large data infrastructure to help businesses really optimize, how they're targeting communications or running their own operations. So data is hugely exciting and always has been. But the thing that lies on top of that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, the ability to find patterns in data that we can't see through human processing. That's going to give us a level up in terms of what I call the wisdom economy. We're going to have human wisdom, then we're going to have machine wisdom, and it's finding patterns in data we never thought existed. They're going to meld together. It's going to be farmer and the machine, and this new world is going to mean higher yield, better management, we hope, right? And new ways of farming.
Well, and people get scared about new stuff, but egg producers, farmers are pretty sophisticated already. We have a lot of data and companies and consulting, so really we shouldn't have the brakes on. This is already steps that we're taking.
Farmers are incredibly innovative. Farmers have always been innovative. They've always stepped forward. They've always invested in technology. I think this is what tech companies have got it wrong. A lot of tech entrepreneurs are now stepping into the agricultural field because there's so much opportunity there. There's trillions of dollars wrapped up in that market, but there's so much opportunity to do things in new ways or help people, sort of level up their own sort of farming operations. I find it hugely exciting, the amount of investment that's going into the agri-tech world and agri-food world. I think the next 3 to 5 years is going to have so many interesting revolutions around, around lab-grown meat versus raising cattle versus, plant-based diets versus how we easily get, greens and whatever in a city landscape quicker to us by having it just around the corner or in the rooftops in vertical farms of the tall buildings that we live in. So it's so exciting to me.
Excellent. There's so much there. I mean, I could pick your brain for hours and hours. I love this stuff. If you were sitting across a farmer, across the table right now from a farmer, and they're looking at this going lab-grown meat, and oh my goodness, I've invested my life, all my earnings, everything's in this farm operation. Do you have any words of wisdom on adapting, learning? What would you say? So
there's a couple of things. Change is inevitable. We either change or change happens to us. Right? Whether it's a farm going out of business or whether it's reducing of yield or whatever, but if we change and step in, if we step into data ownership, sensors and whatever, it can be incredibly empowering. Yes, there's an investment, there's a learning curve, but Alvin Toffler wrote a book called Future Shock in the 1970s, one of the first sort of popular futurists. Really wise words of this. The illiterate of the 21st century are those that cannot learn, relearn and unlearn. The ability to continue evolving. And every farmer I've spoken to has got that ability regardless of their age.
Absolutely.
I had some farmers last year come up to me, I think it was in Saskatoon, and they must have been in their 70s. And they brought out, they showed me their They had a Samsung smartphone. They showed me how they control their farm by cellular remote. I was just in Iceland earlier this year. The family that was running the greenhouse operations for tomatoes was on vacation in Italy, controlling everything from their tablets.
Nice.
This is it. It's an evolution. I mean, because we know that it's a constant struggle against the elements, against regulation, against disease or whatever. So every single piece of technology is there to help us, and that was really the overall mantra from my presentation. Is like, these are the things here to help you. Some of them are a little further out, but they're definitely going to revolutionize the world for the positive.
Excellent. Those are amazing words of wisdom. And you're right. Farmers are always adapting to change.
Always.
Because nothing's ever the same.
For thousands of years.
So what better people to adapt and embrace all the new technology?
Yeah, and people didn't understand this. I mean, Bill Gates famously said he can't imagine every farmer having a computer. He was so wrong. Now, Bill Gates is one of the biggest investors in agricultural land in North America. Go figure, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Well, you know what? Those were great words of wisdom to wrap up. You have some amazing videos online, and I was browsing your website. So if anyone in our audience wants to learn more about you, connect with you, how do they do that? Where do they do that?
Yeah, so you can just come to nikolasbadminton.com. I've also got a YouTube channel. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can connect with me at Nicholas Futurist on Twitter. I'm always happy to have a conversation, always happy to share information. So come check it out.
Love it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.